Today we are discussing the topic carbon and its compounds. Carbon, it is a non-metal. It is a non-metal with atomic number 6. It is playing a very important role in our life because it is present in so many substances we are using daily, like soaps, cosmetics, etc. Okay, and today we are learning about carbon. Carbon is very special element because of its nature. It is showing so many properties. So we will learn about that one. First, coming to electronic configuration of carbon is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. If you will write, this is 1s2, this is 2s2 and 2p2. This is normal state. When it comes to excited state, it becomes like this. That means 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. This is the excited state of the carbon. See, if you observe here 4 lone. Okay, when you observe the electronic configuration of the carbon in excited state, we can see 4 unpaired electrons. 1 electron from s orbital, 3 electrons from p orbitals. So these 4 electrons are participating in the formation of the chemical bond. Okay, here these orbitals combine to form new orbitals. That process is called hybridization. Now we are going to learn about hybridization. So now we are learning about hybridization. What is hybridization? Hybridization concept is explained by Pauling. Now we are learning what is hybridization. When equal energy orbitals combine to form new orbitals, that method is called hybridization. This process is called hybridization. Coming to carbon, it has 4 unpaired electrons, 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. This is the electronic configuration of carbon. Suppose if you take hydrogen, the electron configuration of hydrogen is 1. Here each hydrogen combines with each electron. Each hydrogen combines with each electron in carbon. Suppose carbon has how many electrons? 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hydrogen has 1 electron. This will combine to form the bond. In this way, how many electrons are there? Total 4. So total 4 hydrogens will come. 4 hydrogens will come to form 4 bonds. This is formation of methane, CH4. Here, how many orbitals are combining? 1s and 3p. So this hybridization is called sp3 hybridization. This hybridization is called sp3 hybridization. Example for sp3 hybridization is methane, CH4. The next one is sp2 hybridization. Suppose take the example of ethylene, CH2, CH2. This is the formula of ethylene. Okay, ethylene is also known as ethane. Okay. Now if you observe here, you know already how many carbon unpaired electrons are there in carbon? 4. 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2p Z1. Here hydrogen will form a bond with 1s and 2p. 1s and 2p. That's why it is called sp2 hybridization. If you see here 1s electron and 2p electrons, these are undergoing hybridization. The remaining 1 pz orbital becomes unhybridized. Okay, this pz orbital in 2 carbon atoms overlap each other to form a pi bond. That's why between carbon and carbon there is a double bond. One is sigma bond and one is pi bond. So the remaining hydrogens form a covalent bonds. Okay, in this way ethylene will form under sp2 hybridization. The next hybridization is sp hybridization. To understand sp hybridization, we are taking example of acetylene. Acetylene formula C2H2. We will write as C triple bond C, here 1H, here 1H. Here we observe triple bond. If you understand what is sp hybridization, then we can understand how the triple bond is forming. Again we are writing 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1, 1s and 3p, px, py, pz. Here only 1s and 1p orbital are undergoing hybridization. So 1s and 1p. That's why it is called sp hybridization. What are the remaining py and pz in one carbon? In another carbon again there will be py and pz. These will form pi bonds. So that's why one sigma bond, other two are pi bonds. So totally how many bonds are forming? 3 bonds are forming between carbon and carbon. See, if you observe in sp3 hybridization, it is carbon is forming single bond. In sp2 hybridization, it is forming double bond. In sp hybridization, carbon is forming triple bond. Due to the nature of this forming number of bonds, carbon will present in so many substances. Because of this nature only, carbon is playing a very important role in chemistry. The next concept in this lesson is allotropy. Allotropy means, suppose if you take charcoal, it made of carbon. If you take diamond, it is also made with carbon only. But both are different in nature. But chemical properties are similar, but their physical structure is different. This property is called allotropy. Once again, I am explaining what is allotropy. The property of an element to exist in 2 or more physical forms having less similar chemical properties. That property of element is called allotropy. Okay. Suppose if you see carbon is showing allotropy nature. It is in the crystalline forms or in the amorphous forms. Amorphous forms means like charcoal, coal, ash, etc. Charcoal, coal, like this. In these type of substances, carbon is present, and if you see lamp black, that is also carbon only. This structure is called amorphous structure. What is crystalline? Before we explain about diamond is crystalline form of carbon. Very hard substance in the universe. Diamond is very hard substance in the universe. Like that graphite also carbon crystalline form, and one of the important crystalline form is Buckminster fullerene. Buckminster fullerene. First we are learning about diamond. In diamond, carbon atoms are undergoing sp3 hybridization. sp3 hybridization, and between carbon and carbon in diamond very strong bonds are forming. Very strong bonds are forming, and it is very difficult to destroy to break the bond between carbon and carbon. That's why diamond is one of the hardest material in the universe. Okay, this Buckminster fullerene is especially used in medicine to target some cells in the form of antibiotics, like bacterial cells or cancer cells. Okay, this is the main use of Buckminster fullerene. Next one is nanotubes. Nanotubes means they are also carbon layers only, but they can be formed in a cylindrical shape. That's why they are called nanotubes. These nanotubes of graphite can be used in molecular circuits. These nanotubes can be used. Property of the carbon is catenation. Catenation property. First we learned about allotropy. Now we are learning about catenation. Catenation means carbon can form long chains. This property of carbon is called catenation. Okay, because of its number of electrons that are unpaired in excited state of the carbon, it can show this property. Okay, from this we can understand why carbon is present in most of the substances, because of its hybridization property, because of its allotropy property, and because of its catenation property. That means it can present in so many compounds, and it can form long chains, and it can form single bonds, double bonds, and triple bonds also. Okay, now we are learning about hydrocarbons. Very important topic in this lesson. Hydrocarbons, the substance that are made of hydrogen and carbon. In which substances only hydrogen and carbon are present, they are called as hydrocarbons. The compounds containing only carbon and hydrogen in their molecules are called hydrocarbons. To learn about what are hydrocarbons, we have to first understand some names depending upon the number of bonds between carbon and carbon. When there is a single bond between carbon and carbon, they are called alkanes. When there is a double bond between carbon and carbon, they are called alkenes. When there is a triple bond between carbon and carbon, they are called alkynes. Very important that one. That's why ane, ene, ine. When there is a single bond, it is ane group. When there is a double bond, it is ene group. When there is a triple bond, this is ine group. Okay, very important that one. Once again, and I am explaining. When there is a single bond between two carbon atoms, they are called alkanes. When there is a double bond between carbon atoms, they are alkenes. When there is a triple bond between carbon, they are alkynes. Okay, next we are learning what are saturated hydrocarbons and what are unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated and unsaturated. This is also depends upon the number of bonds between carbon. When there is a single bond between carbon and carbon, they are called saturated hydrocarbons. That means alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons, because when there is a single bond, those hydrocarbons are called alkanes. So all alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. When there is a double bond between carbon and carbon or triple bond between carbon and carbon, they are called unsaturated hydrocarbons. That means alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes and alkynes. These are unsaturated hydrocarbons. The next property we are learning is isomerism. The next property we are learning isomerism. Suppose I am writing two compounds C1, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and another one I am writing CH3, CH2, CH3. Here we are writing CH2 down. Here how many carbons are there? 4. How many hydrogens are there? 10. Here how many carbons are there total? 4. How many hydrogens are there? 10. So chemical formula same, but the compounds are different due to their structure. Due to their structures. This phenomena is called isomerism. This phenomena is called isomerism. Once again I am defining. Have the substances are having same molecular formula but different in their properties. These compounds we will tell as they are showing isomerism, and the compounds which are showing the property of isomerism are called isomers. Suppose this C4H10 is showing isomerism. So C4H10 is called isomer. Okay. Next we are learning about functional groups. What are functional groups? Suppose take example CH3Cl. Here CH3 is normal one and Cl added to this CH3 in place of H. Yes or no? What atom or group of atoms are added? That group is called functional group. Here Cl is added. So here functional group is chlorine. Okay. Depending upon the nature of the atom or group of atoms present in this, hydrocarbons are divided into some names are given. Some names are given depending upon the nature of the atom or group of atoms present in the functional group. First one is halohydrocarbons. Halohydrocarbons. Halohydrocarbons means here to a hydrocarbon a halogen is added. Halogens means chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. Halogen group elements are added to the hydrocarbon, that is called halohydrocarbon. Okay. When CHO group is added, to the hydrocarbon, that is called aldehyde. When CHO group is added, that is called aldehyde. When OH is added to the hydrocarbon, suppose R is hydrocarbon. When OH group is added to the hydrocarbon, that is called alcohol. That is called alcohol. Remind one thing, when halogen group elements are added to the hydrocarbon, those are called halohydrogen carbons. When CHO group is added to the hydrocarbon, they are called aldehydes. When OH group is added to the hydrocarbon, those are called alcohols. When CO group is added to hydrocarbon, those hydrocarbons are called ketones. See here how names are changing depending upon the functional group. When CO group is added to the hydrocarbon, that substances are called as ketones. Okay. Next one, when COOH group is added to the hydrocarbon, they are called carboxylic acids. They are called carboxylic acids. They are very important. In your 10th class textbook, it is given as a tabular form. Okay, when COOH group is added to the hydrocarbon, those substances are called carboxylic acids. When we are adding NH2 group, when you are adding NH2 group to the hydrocarbon, they are called amines. Those compounds are called as amines. Okay, these are the some forms of the hydrocarbons depending upon the functional group. Once again I am explaining, listen carefully. Once again I am explaining. When OH group is there, it is called as alcohol. When CHO group is present, they are called aldehydes. When CO group is present, they are called ketones. When COOH group is there, they are called carboxylic acids. When O is present between two hydrocarbons, they are called ethers. And COO is present between two hydrocarbons, they are called esters. And NH2 group is added to the hydrocarbon, they are called amines. When halogen group is added, they are called hydrocarbons. See, till now we learned so many properties of carbon compounds and so many different names to the carbon compounds. Okay, because here carbon is present in millions of compounds. To remember the names, it is become difficult, and to overcome this problem, International Unions of Pure and Applied Chemistry, simply called as IUPAC, International Unions of Pure and Applied Chemistry. This union is suggested some names to the carbon compounds depending upon the number of carbons present and bonds between the carbon compounds and the functional group added to the carbon compounds. Okay, first coming to number of carbon compounds. Suppose carbon compound number is 1, 2, this is number of carbons, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to 10 we will learn. When there is one carbon compound, it called as myth. When two carbons are present, it called as eth. When carbons are 3, it called as prop. When 4 carbons are present, that compound is called as but. The word comes out as but. When 5 carbons are present, the word is pent. When 5 carbons are present, the word is pent. When 6 are there, the word is hex. And when 7 are there, the word is hept. When 8 carbons are there, the word is oct. When 9 are there, the word is non. And when 10 carbons are present, the word is dec. Here, listen one thing. First we will, if you see the table directly, we can't understand anything. If you take examples, then you can easily remember. Just listen this one. Suppose one carbon is present. So the word starts with myth. When 2 carbons are present, the word starts with eth. 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 dec. Okay, remember this one. Okay, coming to number of bonds between carbon and carbon. Already we learned. Yes or no? When there is a single bond between carbon and carbon, that is ane group, alkane. When there is a double bond between carbon and carbon, that is ene group, alkene. When there is a triple bond between carbon and carbon, that is ine group, alkyne. Okay, coming to general formula of this, alkane, alkene and alkyne are, for alkanes the general formula is CnH2n plus 2. For alkenes the general formula is CnH2n. For alkynes the general formula is CnH2n minus 2. Okay, suppose take example carbon is 2, that is n equals to 2. In carbon what is the n value? 2. For alkane, see C2 H2 into 2 plus 2. That means C2, 2 2s are 4, 4 plus 2 6. C2 H6. For n equal to 2, what is alkene? CnH2n, that means C2H2 into 2, C2H4. This comes to ene. What about ine? C2H2 into 2 minus 2. That means C2, 2 2s are 4, 4 minus 2, 2. C2H2. Alkyne. Alkyne. Suppose when carbon number is 2, what we learnt? Eth. So it is ane group. Eth plus ane. Eth plus ane. Ethane. Like this we will give the name. Here how many carbons? 2. Eth. What is the group name? Ene. Ethene. What is the name? Ethene. For this one, eth. What is the group name? Ine. Ethyne. Understood? Like this, we are giving names to the carbon compounds. Okay? Next, we are learning how to give names to some compounds, depending upon the number of carbons present or functional group present, or for cyclic structures like this. Okay, first take example CH3, CH, CH2, CH2, sorry 3, CH3. Here for CH there is added one CH3 again. To this type of compound, how we will give name? First one, we have to see where is the functional group, on which carbon the functional group is present. If you count left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count from right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you count left to right, what is the number of carbon which is having functional group? 2. From right to left, it is 3. Which is the lowest value we have to see? In 2 and 3, what is the least value? 2. Which group is added? Methyl group is added. First listen this one. Methyl group is added. How many carbons are there? Don't count the functional group. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons means but. The word start with but. See the bonds. All are single bonds. When it is single bond, that belongs to ane group. So what is the compound name? 2-methyl-butane. Once again I am explaining. See, we have to count the carbon number from left to right or right to left. When you count like this, we are getting 2 numbers for this functional group carbon. 1 is 2, 1 is 3. In these 2, what is the least value? That one we have to take. In 2 and 3, what is the least value? 2. Which functional group is present? Methyl. Coming to main compound, how many carbons are present? 4. 4 means the word starts with but. All are single bonds. When the single bonds are present in hydrocarbons, that is N group. So 2-methyl butane. Okay, like this. Suppose there is another compound given CH3, CH, CH, double bond CH2. Here given methyl group on CH3. Here we have to count. What we have to count? Carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is the least number. But we have to count from double bonds. We have to count. Before, in previous example, they are all formed due to single bonds. But here there is a double bond. So we have to count from the double bond first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on which carbon it is present? 3. 3 methyl. How many carbons are there? 4. So but. But here one single bond is present. One single bond is present. On which carbon the single bond is present? One carbon. So but 1. When there is a double bond, that belongs to ene group. Alkene group. So the name is 3-methyl but 1-ene. Okay. Suppose take another example. CH3, CH, C, triple bond, CH, and here methyl group is present. Here also we come from back. 1, 2, 3, 4. On which carbon methyl group is present? Third one. So 3-methyl. How many carbons are there? 4. So that is but. On which carbon ion group is present? Triple bond is there, first carbon. When there is a triple bond, that belongs to ion group. So the name is 3-methyl but 1-ene. Okay. Next we are going to learn about soaps. We are using daily soaps. We are using to clean our body, to wash our clothes, like that. How the soaps are formed. Now we are learning. We know soap is salt of sodium or potassium. Soap is a salt of sodium or potassium. When fats are reacted with sodium hydroxide, we are getting sodium salts. These sodium salts are used as soaps by reacting with fatty acids. Next one, we are learning about soaps. Daily we are using soaps for bathing, to wash the clothes. We are using soaps. What is a soap? Soap is a salt of sodium or potassium. Soap is a salt of sodium or potassium. The general formula of this one is RCOO Na or RCOO K. K means potassium, Na means sodium. This is the general formula of this soaps. What are the soaps used for? Soaps are used to clean the dirt particles from the body or from the clothes, etc. How it work? To learn this one, first of all, we have to know about micelle. What is micelle? When soap molecules mixed with water, a spherical aggregate will form like this. A spherical aggregate of soap molecule will form. This is called micelle. When soap dissolved in water, it forms a colloidal suspension in which soap molecules cluster to form spherical mirrors. When we mix soap in water, it forms micelles. What the micelles will do? These micelles are responsible to remove dirt particles from the body or from the clothes. Now we see how it works. When dry cloth inserted in soap solution, what happens? Here what this R means hydrocarbon. The hydrocarbon sticks to the dirt. The hydrocarbon sticks to the dirt on the body or on the clothes. When you just rub it with brush or with hand, what happens? The soap micelles will be formed and they get dispersed in water, due to which the soap water gets dirty and clothes gets cleaned. That means this micelles make the clothes clean. How? Just once see the diagram. Suppose this is the dirt particle. So, okay, first of all a micelle will form like this. When you mix in soap in water, a micelle will form. This afterwards this micelle will stuck to this one, stuck to the dirt. That means this dirt will stuck to the micelle. When you rub it, it comes out with the micelle. The dirt particle present in clothes will come out with the micelle. When you clean with water, the clothes will get clean. Okay, like this soaps are working. In this way, every day we are using carbon in so many things. Just we took example of soaps. In the same way, in cosmetics also we are using carbon. So that's why carbon is playing very important role in chemistry. Carbon and its compounds. Carbon is separately, it is having one part of chemistry, that is called organic chemistry, very important one. Okay, in this topic, just first of all we have to learn about hybridizations and allotropic forms and the structure of diamond, and very important one, IUPAC names. If you go thoroughly with these topics, you will achieve your goals in this lesson. Okay, thank you very much students, all the best.